In today's show, we will be introducing you to Clinix Life Enhancement Center. Clinix is a progressive healthcare facility which provides integrated medical and healthcare services. From natural hormone replacement therapies and anti-aging medicine, to general medicine, preventive care, sports medicine, psychiatric counseling programs, and weight loss programs. Clinix is open 6 days a week and provides on-site medical and health professionals who are dedicated to improving the quality of their patients' lives.
Dr. Mark Albert is the CEO and president of the Clinix Life Enhancement Center. Dr. Albert has emerged as an innovator in the Colorado healthcare industry as he has studied the evolving nature of the healthcare landscape and became one of the first to create a Colorado Health Services facility to offer a multidisciplined approach to serving the health needs of an aging population. The clinic offers an integrated spectrum of medical and health services, including general medicine, natural hormone replacement and anti-aging medicine and therapies, physical therapy rehabilitation, chiropractic medicine, cardiovascular analysis, behavioral counseling, and personal wellness training.
My name is Dr. Mark S. Albert. And for those of you that don't know me, I'm the president of Clinix, and Clinix has been in the healthcare industry for about 20 years. We've always been a little bit of a trendsetter. For the last 20 years, we were the ones integrating chiropractic, medicine, physical therapy. We put anti-aging, bariatrics, exercise, diet, nutrition, acupuncture, massage therapy, all into the same clinic. The reason we did that is because we're very sensitive to the demands of the patient load. And we put it all together because that's what the patients wanted. So we've been a trendsetter for about 20 years, and in those past 20 years, we've seen a lot of changes in healthcare. But one of the most dramatic and exciting changes in healthcare in the past 20 years has absolutely been what's happened with the world of anti-aging. In the early 1990s, a man by the name of Daniel Rudman started the anti-aging movement, and it's gone on like wildfire for the last 10 years. So what I'd like to do today is I'd like to introduce you to the world of anti-aging. And when I say anti-aging, what I'm really talking about is natural hormone replacement. So we're not talking about medications, we're not talking about drugs, we're talking about natural, bioidentical hormones, replacing hormones that start depleting from your body in your early 20s. So when I say anti-aging, I'm also talking about things that are good for your health. A lot of anti-aging is taking hormones for disease management. Improving and controlling things like cancer, osteoporosis, cardiovascular disease, and diabetes. When I say anti-aging, I also mean hormone replacement for aesthetic reasons, the way we look. It improves our hair, our skin, our nails. Anti-aging hormones burn fat and tone muscle. But also when I talk about anti-aging, I'm talking about the way we feel. Because it makes sense. Not only does growth hormone deplete, all the hormones deplete. In women, we call it menopause. Menopause. Well, men go through the same kind of thing. It's called andropause. But both of us, those diminishing hormones start in our early 20s. With women, one day we can say, no more period, end of menstrual cycle. For men, those hormones just start depleting. There's not just one hormone called estrogen. It's actually 3 hormones. 3 hormones, estradiol, estriol, and estrone. In God's recipe, not the synthetic recipe of Premarin, but in God's recipe, he put in 3 hormones, estradiol, estriol, and estrone, for the purpose of prevention, preventing against cardiovascular disease, preventing against cancer, preventing against osteoporosis. And if you were to monkey with the levels, all of a sudden the recipe would be different, and you could possibly cause those problems instead of prevent those problems. God put the progesterone in because estrogen unbalanced, estrogen unopposed, creates all kinds of side effects or symptoms. As a matter of fact, estrogen is one of the most powerful and potent hormones in your body. So progesterone not only balances out estrogen, but it's also proactive. Estrogen helps prevent against osteoclasts, things that eat up the bone. Progesterone makes more osteoblasts to make more bone. Progesterone also is proactive for cancer. Estrogen prevents against it, but progesterone creates creates scavengers to eat up the free radicals causing the cancer. Next thing progesterone does is it helps you with cardiovascular disease. Estrogen protects us against the bad fats, but progesterone actually increases the good guy fats to eat up the bad, called human growth hormone. The other name for human growth hormone is the healing hormone. It speeds up healing, good for like sprains and strains, post-surgery, ligaments and tendons. So it speeds up the healing process. A hormone that everybody loves. And everybody loves thyroid. The reason they love thyroid is because when you take thyroid, boy, it just kind of warms you up. Makes you feel warm inside and kind of outside too. Warms your hands, warms your fingers, your feet, your nose, and gives you a feeling of well-being on the inside. Women love thyroid hormones. And also they love it because it speeds up the metabolism and it has some weird side effects. Burns fat, tones muscle, and makes hair, skin, and nails better. And testosterone is an important hormone in men and women because it's a feel-good hormone. Burns fat, tones muscle, but the other thing it does is it works on attitude. Now the precursor to all the sex hormones is DHEA. But all DHEA really is, it's a precursor to the sex hormones, but it also, when it breaks open, it releases energy. When it breaks open, it releases energy to do two things, burn fat and tone muscle. DHEA, incredible for energy, and the precursor to some of these other sex hormones. Pregnenolone. What do I know about pregnenolone? I know pregnenolone is a hormone today that we think of as a cognitive hormone. It helps us think more clearly. It helps us remember things. So pregnenolone, good for memory, cognitive hormone, but also blocking cortisol. Remember, too much cortisol or not enough cortisol in the system is a bad thing. Cortisol in the old days is what we thought was the stress chemical. And so psychiatrists working with patients on stress management using pregnenolone to block cortisol. Chiropractors, physical therapists working with sprains and strains and acute injuries, preventing swelling with pregnenolone. Melatonin is actually responsible for what's called the circadian rhythm of your system. It starts and stops all the systems of hormones. It begins it and it ends it. A lot of times women will come into the clinic and say, Dr. Albert, man, I haven't had a period in 6 months. And you always think, well, female athlete, too little body fat, not kickstarting the system. Well, not enough melatonin in the system won't get it started. It won't switch over from estrogen to progesterone. Nothing to kickstart the production of progesterone or thyroid hormone. So melatonin creates the rhythm of the hormones. And every hormone in your body has a different rhythm. One thing about melatonin, low levels from about 0 to 40 milligrams is really good for helping you sleep. You hear about pilots and flight attendants taking melatonin to recreate the cycle of their sleep. Well, from 40 to 100, possibly one of the strongest antioxidants available, much stronger than A, C, and E, from 40 to 100. But from 100 and above, good for, what is it, Don? Birth control. Birth control. Insulin, cortisol, hot hormone, too much, too little, not good. And what cortisol is good for is chronic fatigue syndrome. In a recent study, the #1 and #2 most highly prescribed drugs, medications, Premarin, which is an estrogen, and Synthroid, which is a thyroid hormone. Wow, interesting. But they're synthetics. Premarin, made from pregnant mare's urine. Synthroid is only T4, not the 10 times more active and natural T3. Well, what do you mean? God put in T4 and T3 and some enzymes. Burn fat, tone muscle. Makes hair, nails, skin, muscles better, everything. Well, Synthroid only puts in 1. They get sued. $25 million fine. They say no problem. They pay it, and they start marketing all over again. You see what happens? You can't put a patent on God's recipe, but you can put a patent on a synthetic. And so we open up, and we started our Ageless Society. You come into the facility, and we do a complete VIP physical. After the complete VIP physical, we spend 2 hours making recommendations on which hormones, which vitamins, and which foods. We also give you your exercise program.
Tom Bader is a graduate of Drake University School of Pharmacy and the founder and CEO of College Pharmacy.
What is a compound pharmacy?
Compound pharmacy differs from a regular traditional pharmacy in that most of the things that we do, in fact, just about everything that we do at my pharmacy, we make from raw, natural, pure ingredients into dosage forms, finished dosage forms that people can take for different types of things, including hormone therapy is probably one of the biggest things we do, but there are other things as well. But specifically, trying to have a one-size-fit-all. If the reason that we got into compounding was really there was a need out there, and the need continues, and most of what we do now involves hormone therapy, where women have been trying to get treatment, and they recognize now that there is patient variability. One dose for a bunch of conditions, you need individualization. That's what we do in compounding.
What is the difference between synthetic and natural hormones?
Synthetic is basically what it means. It's a bogus type of thing. It's not the real thing. And there's really, the only reason there are synthetics out there in the case of hormones is usually from patent reasons. It costs a tremendous amount of money to develop a drug. And if you can't get a patent on something, why go to all that trouble? So all the hormone therapy that is out there really for the last 50 years has been based on synthetic hormones. A lot of people have trouble with synthetics. They have side effects, and using natural or bioidentical compounds, it's much, much better, alleviates practically all the symptoms. We have just about no trouble explaining why you'd want to be a natural versus synthetic.
Dr. Rouzier did his medical residency at UCLA in family practice and emergency medicine. He is board certified in emergency medicine and is a fellow of the American College of Emergency Physicians. He spent 15 years in a high-volume emergency department in the San Gabriel Valley of Southern California. He is an avid sports enthusiast with a special interest in sports medicine and rehabilitation.
Recently, we've had a big push towards preventive medicine. And with hormones, you can prevent a lot of the deterioration that you see. So there's a lot of articles now coming out, but we've known this for a long time. Estrogen, been around for years. Probably 30 excellent, peer-reviewed, long-term studies on estrogen and the health benefits for women. Protection against heart disease, strokes, bone loss, urogenital atrophy, skin loss. Alzheimer's now, we know macular degeneration is protected by estrogen. These studies have been going on for 40 or 50 years. We know that it works well. Similar with progesterone. The progesterone has been around for quite some time, but in a synthetic form. Now we're starting to use more of the natural forms because we see that it's a little bit more protective than the synthetic. It's been around for 20 years. We've seen great results with that. Plenty of years in the literature, studies showing how well women feel, how better they respond to the hormones without the side effects that are seen with the synthetics. Testosterone, been around for years, mostly in the synthetic form. Now we're seeing it in the natural form, which avoids a lot of the side effects. It's been around for 20 or 30 years too. Lots of great health benefits, tremendous amount of literature showing protection against heart disease, Alzheimer's, bone loss, deterioration mentally and physically. Thyroid, been around for 70, 80 years, a long time. Lots of studies showing how well it protects against cardiovascular disease, how well it helps metabolism, how it burns fat, how it maintains all of your body function. It basically stimulates all the cells in the body. Now what's new is taking all the hormones, raising them up to what we say optimal levels or maximum physiologic levels that we experienced when we were younger. For example, there was a recent article in JAMA that looked at using testosterone in women. And what this article showed was most women's testosterone level is low. If you raise it up a little bit, it didn't do anything. You raise it up to a real high level, bingo, it works very well. So those studies have only been around probably 5 or 10 years. We've been using it for a long time, but in a smaller amount. Now that we're using it in higher amounts, we're starting to see these studies coming out, probably for 5 or 10 years to answer your question.
The Hollywood crowd is starting to use human growth hormone. What can you tell us about human growth hormone?
The people with all the money are the ones that usually start any kind of trend. And so there were clinics set up for the people to take growth hormone shots and whatnot with the idea that they would become, it would make a difference. It would make them younger or give them back a little bit. There's tremendous evidence out there supporting the use of growth hormone as long as it's done in an efficacious manner.
What has your personal experience been?
It was hard for me to accept the fact that I needed hormones because, number one, I'm not old, and number two, I'm a man. We don't need hormones. But when I turned 45, I felt lousy. I stopped exercising because it was so painful. I got pain in my joints and my knees and my muscles. I tore muscles. I couldn't recover, couldn't recuperate. Felt lousy. As a result of feeling lousy, I felt depressed. I was extremely fatigued. I couldn't get through the